This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright, that Cyberpunk sound, I've had this played for like 20 minutes and it's like gotten into my brain, so I'm gonna have to turn that down a little bit. I was like going inside of one part of my head and coming out the other. Oh man, how is everybody doing? Caprice, I understand exactly where you're coming from with that. You're like, I don't know what this is, but I want to throw money at it, right? I understand that. No, so Night City Wire is basically they're going to showcase some new stuff from the game. So we are supposed to see some new gameplay here today. We're going to hear from some of the developers. As you guys know, CD Projekt Red just had another delay, so they bumped it back again by another 2 months. So it'll be coming out, I think, November, they said now at this point, which I'm fine with. You know, I've been looking forward to this game like since it was first announced. Just because I love anything that is futuristic like that. Press already played it. I got to see a demo of it. Somebody played it for us behind closed doors at Gamescom last year. And it was really, really cool. Like, it was really cool. It's been one of the very rare experiences. Thank you, Taco Cow. Again, you guys never have to donate anything. I'm really excited about this game. So I was like, what if I stream it? But it was a closed door thing. And the game, very rarely do you play a game where you're playing it and you're like, I want to do that. And you have like this idea and you're just like, I should be able to do that. And in this game, you were just able to go and do it. Like, you saw like a big, machine gun turret. And it was one of those things of like, man, it'd be really nice to just go over there and grab that and pick it up and use it. And then the person playing the game was like, oh, by the way, you could just go over there, pick this up and use it, So it was really, really cool. What's up, Roaming Barber? Goodbye live stream for BF5, maybe. I'm not entirely done playing it. I still go back and play it. Yesterday I was playing a lot of Call of Duty because I'm working on another video for that. Please. All right, so this is no longer the Cyberpunk stream. This is the chowder stream. So we need to explain chowder. Right, so chowder is like a really hearty soup. So most of the time it's a cream-based soup, I think, if I'm correct there. But it often has things like potatoes in it, those kinds of things. And the most famous chowder is, of course, the New England clam chowder. Which has clams in it, and it's delicious and fantastic. But there's other things like corn chowder. Corn chowder is also good. Chowder. Who wants chowder? No, but it's a soup you can chew, right? Like if Chowder had a commercial, that's what its tagline would be: soup you can chew. Hey Rick, how's it going, dude? Between this and Halo, you're super excited. I have never been a Halo fan. That is my secret confession. The only Halo that I liked was ODST. And it just had to do with the story. Like, I like the idea of the ODST troopers and the kind of common everyman fighting that instead of, like, 8-foot tall Master Chief who could, like, say anything or do anything or, Cancel Flakfire. He doesn't like Halo. Get him out of here. Advait, how's it going, dude? You gotta stop spamming or you're gonna get banned. Here we go. Alright, I gotta turn up the volume here for you guys.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, please.
For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some brain dance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started.
So there's going to be some kind of
to take a look at our brand new trailer.
embargo
and
that's going to
after
end,
that,
and then we're going to be
lead
able to see
quest
some
designer
stuff.
Pavel Sasko will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Doing good, Mushroom.
I love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other, just bigger.
Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here.
The major leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bullet.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
These lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
I didn't see any bodies. I didn't see any bodies.
Dex, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you? Fuck.
Keanu. November 19th. I just
So the
pray they
trailer
don't delay it again.
contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So, Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely
It looks
unique
so
districts,
good.
surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands.
Oh,
As
I
a
haven't
player,
even seen anything
you
from the
are
Badlands.
meeting
It's all been like
Jack. Jack
neon.
is your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the
What's up,
social
Jason?
ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But
Car seems so
as you can
flat.
expect, not everything goes as planned. And but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from
these
abuse,
guys made
and the
like
gang is
an
really
entire
continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet
dialect
multiple different NPCs,
for like some of these
craft
people.
your own relationship with them.
It's like
and
there's like a
understand what they're
gang
all about.
faction that has
So
like its
earlier
own
on, you
language
did
and
mention
dialect.
a 7th district, a place called
Like
Badlands.
unique to the
Now, we
game,
saw
but
a
it's
few shots
descended
of this
from
in the trailer, but I'd love for you to
actual
give us a bit more detail
real
about
world
the
language.
district
Like it's really
outside of the
cool
city
how
walls.
much effort they put
Okay,
into
so
this.
the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in the different families, and they are traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen
Adam
and paper
Smasher.
in Cyberpunk 2020.
It sounds like a
by
very
our,
sci-fi name.
Senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
Yeah, that's
In
some
this trailer, we do
Wolfenstein level
see some
stuff right
flashes
there.
of a Ripper Doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Reaper Dogs in our game, they are
That guy's
surgeons. They are
huge.
like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed.
This reminds me of the guy from
specialized in
Futurama
replacing
in the
limbs,
episode where
to the
Hermes
metal
gets
one. They
turned
can
into a
basically
robot.
Update your
It's
body,
like, how
enhance
long will
your
it
body,
take you to
change
install
you
a
into
robot
this
arm?
walking
He's
war
like, I
machine.
have golf game
And,
in
as a
20
player,
minutes,
you are
so
going to meet different
20
kind
minutes.
of Reaper Dogs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel,
I
thank
really
you
hope
so
there's
much for
some
joining us. I
crazy
know you'll be back later in
customizations
the
for that.
episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share.
Rip, so
Earlier
funny,
in
mate.
the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
Okay, all right.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance
Codrington,
gameplay
you
and
gotta give it a
welcome
chance,
back our
dude.
developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
All right, what is it?
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
2022. I'd want it like leading up to it, you know?
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I
have
am
that coat.
a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story.
Well, Christopher, that's
set
in true.
the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else
That's
is
in true
totally
CD
new.
Projekt Red
New
fashion, right?
characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole. Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the dream team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の一ファンに
It's gotta be like a really cool dream for these
心に
guys.
生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
I'm curious to see what the art style will look like. How that'll complement the. I mean, because Cyberpunk 2077
Now
is
it is time to
a
show
really
you some
strong
gameplay
art style.
of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a
Well,
recording
Jonathan,
of
things
somebody
that wind up
else's
on
experience.
Netflix typically
It
are
allows you to
pretty
relive
good,
a sense
so
of sight,
hopefully.
smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and we'll also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
I feel like it's a requirement for the bad guy to like flip the gun before he gives it to you, you know?
Down, everybody, on the ground. What I see you kissing the flooring. Money, now, or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God. Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off!
Ah! Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
Brandon, he had to make sure it was racked, you know.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Scene's yours.
Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your
That's
own
wild.
sandbox. So analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need.
So I assume you do this to, you know, get answers to something.
Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those psycho
Jimbo,
freaks
I
who
don't
lose
have any info on getting any kind of early
Dream is
release
hell,
right now.
Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like.
Obviously, I was not part of the
Give it a
press that
try.
got to play this, so.
Rewind. Roll it back to the top. All good, neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't be creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can
Just
also
like, look at the
reset
detail though,
recording.
because they had to build this guy's motions in third person here and, you know, model all that out.
This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat. The gun that's gone.
Yeah, behind me here. I can't really clean that up right now.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those psycho freaks. And remember, people from West.
Okay, right here.
I'm scanning the gun.
Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough.
I wonder just how deep this is gonna
Every little
go.
detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see
Cheers,
the
pal.
sources of
Right,
the recorded
Platoon.
sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now
I
you
can see
should
this being like a
several sound
humongous
signatures
time
on the
suck
Choose
and like
one
a completionist dream. They're just gonna go around and find everything. Like you'll spend 20 minutes in one of these modes.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, Cuddy and Surf and Turf. Everybody, on the
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
Wanna see you kissing the flooring? Money, net.
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw, stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kuroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her.
The wounded chick.
Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a nudge.
2077 people still paying with cash.
Fucking drop you, I swear to God. Well, now, fucking head off.
I thought it'd be Bitcoin, right?
See that? They
Ooh.
shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Go back to
I
where
bet
the
it's that
screen
guy
is
who was
in his
outside.
field of vision, then scan it.
I bet he killed him and he's just gonna double his earnings. I bet that's what happened.
His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real Flak. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Yeah, so his buddy did shoot him.
It's impressive, right? It's too bad
Buddy.
most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for
Flogging the
adult films.
log.
There is an awful lot
Oh
to
my.
it. And there's 2 sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore. So how this actually fits into the universe. And then there's the gameplay side. So how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game,
point
we
out
deal
the
a lot
name
with
on that
black
desk
brain
says
dances, or
Lizzie
XBDs,
Jizzy.
as we call them. And there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now, that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics.
What's up, Daniel?
So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the town street.
So we've tried to
Like, the
talk about
focus
some of
on
the
story
aspects that we
here
think
is
the community will
real,
find
so
really
I'm here for
exciting.
this.
But you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you
See,
start?
Mudbug, that's what I'm wondering.
One of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality? And did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them? Or did they not overcome them? And why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now, you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned.
Oh no.
So much, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
there
used
we go.
all that experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really
He was wearing a
filler in
Domino's
this game.
hat
Like
for a
everything
second.
has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So,
Oh, I just happen to have
this
it
is,
here.
My notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote the first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next year's I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me and they said that they want to take a look at my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures and they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
That's pretty cool.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for
It
people
does
to
look like
discover
some
them.
beautiful mind
But,
shit
before
right
we
there.
do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
All right. Well, that looked pretty good. I wish we had more. I wish we had more info about you know, the various systems and things that we're going to see in game. But I suppose this is our opportunity to go out and actually explore some of the things that you know, the other content creators and media have gotten their hands on there. So they're going to be doing some first impression stuff. I'm going to have to go check out some of that. Jake, I mean, I thought it looked pretty cool. The whole brain dance kind of thing there, it does seem kind of like a detective mode. But, you know, I'm all for anybody having something that deepens the lore or the story in a game. I know that's weird coming from somebody who plays Battlefield a lot, but games like this, you know, games like The Witcher, for example, people really feed on the lore, and it adds just an entirely new dimension to a video game. And some people really, really enjoy that. I'm one of the people that absolutely loves the lore of video games. You know, it's the same thing with film, right? So if you ever get me talking about Star Wars, you know, I know quite a bit of the lore behind that because I love it. You know, it deepens the world in which you, you know, are involved, whether that's in a film where you're watching it or a video game when you're experiencing it. Right, the more you know, the more it deepens your understanding and appreciation for the video game. So, you know, to see something like Brain Dance, where you can go in and look at different things and you know, find out more information about people or events or something like that, I'm all for that. That's something that's pretty cool there. So, aside from that, the other trailer part looked really, really cool. I've seen other things with that beginning tutorial, and it is visceral, man. It is absolutely visceral. I like the way that Pavel described it as kind of, this is like setting the base for the game, you know, setting the stage, because it really, really does. And it certainly puts you on a track, on a collision track with some of the forces there in the game. So I'm still incredibly stoked about it. It'll be interesting to see here. I'm going to go check out, see what some other content creators are doing. I do have a couple things coming up before I hop off of here. I do have another video talking about Call of Duty cheaters coming up here in the next couple of days or so. Also, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out the video that was from the Rainbow Six Siege tourney, you can kind of listen to my experience there, learn a couple things about Siege. There's the link to the video I just put in the description. Would really appreciate if you check that out. And if you want to consider picking up Siege, right, you can get 75% off. There's a little link to that in the video description there. But overall, my number one game that I'm excited for this year is Cyberpunk 2077, just hands down. I'm sure there are other things out there that I'm like, yes, I'm really interested in that. There's a bunch of things. But at the top of the list is Cyberpunk, just because I've been looking forward to it for so long. And I have really missed a good sci-fi RPG. We haven't had anything like that since Mass Effect. The most recent Mass Effect didn't scratch that itch for me at all. I'm still not sure how they managed to totally botch that one up, but I haven't played a good sci-fi RPG since probably Mass Effect 3. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So content on the channel will probably follow some of that. I did play Deus Ex a little bit, but I found the gameplay in it problematic. It was hard to get a hold of. The story was interesting, but not enough to overcome some, in my opinion, really clunky gameplay. So that's one thing that I'm holding out, that Cyberpunk will do better than Deus Ex. So yeah, aside from that, do stay tuned on a couple of things here. Like I said, I'll have some more videos coming out in the next couple of days. I do actually have something pretty special for those of you who are interested in World War II stuff. I need to see if I can pull up that info here for me real quick. I would love to show you a video of it, but I'm under an embargo for that. But it's called Land of War, and it's a single-player World War II game, FPS game, but it's set largely in Poland, and it's made by Polish people. And it's actually set in the beginning during 1939, and it does go into some kind of SOE, Polish resistance stuff. They have some interesting vehicles and weapons and that kind of stuff in there. But if you're bored today, go check it out. It's Land of War. There is some gameplay kind of out in the wild on YouTube. I will have a video coming up for that. Are you going to check out Crossfire X this week? Possibly. I have not looked into it that much, but it does look like something that's, a tactical squad shooter, that kind of thing. So there might be some interest there. I'll check it out and see. But no, Land of War, should definitely check that out, and I'll have some more video on that here coming up in a couple days. I think the embargo ends on it tomorrow, so I haven't put together a video for it or anything yet, but if it is something you are potentially interested in, go Google that. So in the meantime, I will just keep working on things, and I have no idea when the next stream will be, but if something interesting pops up, I'm really enjoying sitting and just talking to you guys as we watch some of this stuff. So when Microsoft or Xbox, for example, has their expo, I'll probably stream that, and we can hang out and watch it if that's something you guys are interested in. Otherwise, I will catch you guys later. So I hope you enjoyed watching some of the new Cyberpunk stuff. Go see what people are doing and report back to me on Twitter. Right? I'm the easiest to reach there, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that stuff. So with that said, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Thanks for the donation there, Taco, if you're still in the chat. Of course, you guys don't ever have to do that, but it's the rare time it happens, so I want to say thank you for that. And I'll catch you guys some other time, okay?